Between the swings. Okay, I feel like doing cards again, just to check in again, see what's going on. Even though, I mean, obviously this will come to end at some point, but I just kind of want to see the direction things are going. Yeah, that is. Showing us is going on right now. Everything showing right now. Yes, it is. One more card of what's going on right now, Spirit. That all makes sense. What is coming into play? You really, you showed up last time and you are here again. Yes. Okay. Show me. Spirit, show me what is That's a lot. All right, we'll do it. You want 5. And it's the cap cards. One cap card for this. That's a good reminder. One more cap card. Okay. You want me to do one more? Okay. One more. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. All right. Wow. Okay. I did one more card draw for this, just to see where things are again. So the first line I have are, I'm just going to show you. First 3 I have are these cards. It is the Miracles card, the Soul Balance card, the Harvest card. So the feelings I get, obviously the Soul Radiance card is, it's like the Phoenix Rising. That's exactly what is happening here. The rising up from the ashes, the death and rebirth, the breaking down to be reborn again out of that. Currently the gathering, the harvesting, you know, I think it applies to not only like gathering of like spiritual blessings in this crazy situation, but I also had the feeling of everybody just gathering the things that are important to them, what they would need. You're like realizing what's important to you, what you need over other things, and even having to think about what you would take with you if you had to evacuate and head out. The Miracle card popped out again from the previous reading, which again, I very much know that in this chaos that there are a lot of miracles still happening, you know, for people whose homes survived when they should have been burnt down with the rest. It's around, you know, it's not that it's just all these horrible things happening. There's a lot of miracles and protection as well. The things coming into play, the same card came out again with like the Akashic Records card, just knowing that what's coming into play is meant to come into play. Don't fear, like things will work itself out. I do feel guidance in this either way. The Power Over Difficulty card, that's exactly what is coming into play, is a huge thing of us trying to reclaim our power of not only ourselves individually, but together as a whole in LA. You know, everybody that's experiencing this, trying to just overcome the difficulties that we keep having to face with this. The Bright Heart Light card is very much one for like opening here for connections, and that is such a thing that is definitely coming into play and already happening too. And I'm just seeing it more and more with people stepping forward. Sorry, I have something in my eye. With people stepping forward to help and organize things in the way they can. A lot of people I'm seeing, you know, more and more reaching out on social media and connecting with other people that live here too. Or these centers being made where we're, you know, donating things. And like, I found that myself a couple days ago and posted locations for it. I don't know if that's still current because they change all the time, so you have to keep looking into it. But I piled 3 bins full of clothes and dropped it off, and my friend got food together and some clothes of hers too. So it's a lot of these like opening connections where, you know, before, like, strangers are get used to being like the separate thing, you know, like nobody really, you're doing your own thing, you're doing your own life. But this is really like opening this up where people, strangers, are really connecting and being support for each other. So definitely see that coming into play even more with everything. The later outcome of everything, the 2 cards that I felt like very center of this is the grateful optimism, like having, despite all of this, we're going to get to a point again where we are having a joyous view of the future. You know, when difficult things happen, it does push for change. That is when people change, or situations or countries change the most. And I do feel like California is going to go through a shift big time and looking over, you know, things that we're not tied together well, and just like things that aren't making sense that need to be more efficient. And I think just, yes, like a hopeful view again of like rebuilding whatever it is that has been lost during this time. And then the other card that I felt centered to this was like the shamanic journey. It's like the purpose journey, the vision quest, the attunement. Like, I felt this very early on that like this again, like I know people weren't ready for it because we went through COVID, and like some crazy stuff has already started happening with, you know, the environment and nature and everything. But it just felt like such this major shift again for people who may not have thought that they need this shift or this change, but they do. Like, I know some people who literally was just like losing everything, you know, even more than just what's happening right now. And it's like the universe showing over and over, like, hey, like these changes need to happen. These changes are coming. Like, whether, you know what I mean? Like, whether it's like shifting out of LA because there's something else better for you elsewhere, for you to gain your health or gain your grounding or whatever it is, or meet your partner or build your family. Anyway, so there's that card too. So yeah, I do feel like a very calming sense of, and this is like what I've learned my whole life too, through the hell I've been through, like being bedridden for like a decade and getting through that hell. Like, you may not see it now, but you may not see it now, but the progress and the change that we will have is going to be so much greater than we even thought or realized. The communication card came up again, like the very like intuitive card. You know, everybody kind of really being on the same page about things, intuitively and communicating really well. There is the clarity card, which is releasing illusion and planning, which I really feel adheres to the whole thing of how people thought maybe California had it together better as far as the way things were run. And we are literally like, that whole thing we're realizing is like an illusion that just broke down in front of us. And we're starting to see where all these errors are and inefficiencies are. So that is to come, like, of better planning, and yeah, like releasing these illusions and just planning things better for the future. The other one is the sacred gratitude. Just, it's the, like, just the prayer card and the appreciation card. I do see this being something that people are doing now, but it's gonna be something that is going to be further ahead of like us appreciating more the things we have here than we even did before. And I feel like people in LA can understand this with me, because I think everywhere you live, there's like a love-hate relationship. And sometimes you just get so fed up, like for example, with the traffic, like how insane it takes to get from one end to the next of where you need to go. And people bitch about XYZ, you know, but like, even for me, like I have been feeling this shift, and I've been seeing other people of like this greater appreciation of what we have and what is around us. And even if there's things that we hate about it, you know what I mean? It's like any home that, anywhere you live, it's not a perfect place. And this is the reminder to, you know, have the appreciation and love for where you live, despite the good and bad things about it, you know? So I see that coming into play. The cap cards, I really thought there was gonna be one. Spirit wanted 3. So the last one, I love what Spirit gave. So the compassion card came out, love card, and illuminated path for guidance. That was the other one. And that makes so much sense to me. Like I can see that being like the complete, like the biggest like outcome thing of this is like, I feel like it is doing that. It is going to pull out for people to be more compassionate towards each other, and have this loving, more caring energy towards each other, and sympathy, and just like this coming together. And I do think we're going to see very clearly the path of not only where maybe our individual journeys will end up going, but very clearly this transition now and change that needs to happen with LA and just California as a state right now. Yeah, and just having the things we need lined up more efficient for future disasters. This is not something that we have to face at this level again, especially with fires, you know? And the last card, because I thought I was done, and then in my chest, I was like, no. So I pull one more. I'm like, okay. So I pulled one more, and this one flew out. And it is the angelic assistance, the divine card, the loving support. And like, this couldn't be more true. You know, I understand we go through horrible things, and we grieve and loss and all of it, the unfair things that people have to go through, you know, losing people they love and the homes, and whether it's like the illnesses, whatever it is. But like, what I feel like I need to say is, it took me so long to learn from the hell I went through in my health and being stuck going inward. And I couldn't, like, I was surviving. I wasn't living. Like, I was literally trying to get by every single day. And for a long time, I was so angry with God and with my own like angels and spirit guides. I've probably bitched them out so many times before. And then, you know, feeling horrible and apologize. I mean, like, sure, like, I'm human. We all reach these points. But it was like a long time of suffering and struggle and being trapped in my body that was just like a torture chamber. I could not escape the pain at all. It didn't matter what meds they were trying to give me, and doctors were wrong anyway, and I ended up figuring out for myself through trial and error. But where I was so angry, feeling like, why are these things happening to me? Why are they happening to me? You know, like, sure, we have good things happen to us, but why are all these horrible things, like, back to back to back, from my childhood where I grew up in like such an abusive household and traumatizing household, to like a slew of other things and the health thing, you know? And it was literally just on my birthday this October that I reached to be able to forgive myself for not listening to the messages I hear and ignoring them. Like, I knew for a week before this car accident was going to happen and that I should have died in. And because I didn't listen to turn around, it broke down on the highway into the side of the road. That was the hardest lesson for me to learn, and I was never not going to listen to me again. And luckily, I listened a couple of the times, like when I had warnings, and I was able to shift the outcome of potential car accidents. But I did forgive myself on my birthday, and there was information that came into me in this. It was so profound, but part of it was realizing, like, oh my God, I've been so angry going this whole time of things happening to me. But then you realize, like, how symbiotic, like, light and dark are. Like, they literally hold space together. Like it's this bizarre, and I'll do a video on this later, but with like the information I was like receiving on this. But I realized, like, these things aren't happening to me. All the good things I'm experiencing and all the god-awful, horrible things and the grieving I've gone through before, it's happening for me. Same thing for you guys. Because this stuff, the bad things we go through, it shapes us, and we have freedom of choice on how we want to grow from these challenging things. And sometimes things happen where it pushes people in a whole other direction in life path, like my friend that died in high school, and his mom, it changed her whole trajectory in her life. She then became a spokesperson for awareness of these certain things for teens and kids, you know? That never would have happened, but that was supposed to happen for her life path. So I know it's hard to accept that nothing is forever. Even the things you feel, like, it's not like we're always happy. It's not like we're always sad. It's not like, you know, we're always great with things being good or always in crisis. It's always going to change, because that's what everything's doing here, no matter what, is growing. Even when it breaks down, even when a forest burns down, it comes back stronger every time with more rich, you know, soil. It's like the balance of a forest. It took how many thousands of years for it to learn perfect balance, and how many breakdowns did it have to have for that? It's the same idea of what happens to us in our life challenges, and you know what's happening now in LA. So just remember that it challenges everyone, you know. And I thought I'd be the person to leave. I thought I was gonna leave. Like, I had my car ready, packed. I like dropped off something for like a listing, and I was gonna go. And then I felt this like thing in my chest, like, no, you need to stay. And what was funny is, before these fires started, I was like, I kept hearing, it was so funny, like I was gone for 2 months with the ketamine IV infusions. I don't know if they really worked. I came home, and like, I'm exhausted at this point from like shifting. Like, as I got home and I'm unpacking, like, I keep hearing like, get your things together and donate stuff. You need to donate stuff. You need to donate stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm so tired. Like, I'm not doing that right now. And I kept hearing it. So I'm like, okay, I will add it to my to-do list. So I did. And like 3 days later, all this craziness happens. And I remember like driving through and like seeing like these help centers starting. And then I was like, oh my God, like, I heard it again. I was like, oh my God, yes, I understand. Like, I'm not supposed to leave. Like, I am supposed to help, and I have been trying in ways, and I think like I helped giving information to people from donation centers I found, and I did get my stuff together and go to these places and drop off bags of stuff to help people with clothing and shoes. So just remember, as hard as it is to understand like all the good things, but also the bad things are happening for us, even if we don't understand it right now. And that no matter what, in all of the chaos and stuff that's happening, we are having divine guidance, protection. Some people could be like, oh, well, but like, what about the people who died and this, that? You have to understand that like before we're even born, like we agreed to a life path. So before we're even born, this has already happened. This is already set. There's some things little here and there that can change from choice, you know? But we agreed to every life path because the purpose of being here is to experience everything in the good and the horrible, because we're trying to learn and understand for ourselves what love is, what, you know what I mean? Like we're literally trying to grow and understand as much as possible, like what love is, what happiness is, like every single time. And the people who pass, you know, like that is also written in time. I just had a friend die last Christmas and I was having a hard time with that. And I had to remind myself this, like, you know what? It happened in weird, perfect timing because the following Christmas, this one, like, I know that he was there with me. I know he was there with me. I was like in such hell again with my family. I left early, came home 2 weeks early by myself to get in solitude and like stayed away to meditate and like really, I can do this thing where I dive really deep and I'm not really here anymore and I'm more in my chest and I start getting this information and I'll say it out loud slowly because my brain is like processing what I'm saying, and I'll record these things sometimes because I don't remember everything I'm saying. But the messages I got on Christmas Day like freed me from so much physical pain and emotional pain and the traumas that like have linked to me that I've carried like my whole life. Anyway, so I hope that helps in some way and that there's some understanding, you know, whether we know it or not. Like from what I see with spirits all the time, like we are always protected and have our protectors, and when it's our time to go, it's our time to go, however way that is. And I've witnessed people who pass away and the spirits, the angels show up for them, and you know, we don't die alone and we're not born alone. We have help to get to each side. That's what I've seen too. So I hope this helps for the overall reading of things going on. And then the last card, you know what? I have one more. So I pulled a card from my tarot deck that I have, and this is the one that flew up. It's the Six of Cups upside down. And it just really is the card of like renewal and new beginnings, which that is exactly what's going to be happening in this scenario. Let me see just really quick what help card, advice cards come out. I'm just going to see if there's one in general. Wait, I need a bigger table. Okay, so I have the shadow card. Let's see what that says for everyone. If I can find it. Okay. It does describe the card and everything. I don't think I'm really going to get into reading that, but it is basically the card of using your time wisely. Yes, using your time wisely and I think this is so funny as an advice card. It's the use your time wisely and like follow your dream card and everything. Like being open to like the miracles that can flow into your life. And I like this card for an advice card because oftentimes I see so many people not do really what they were meant to do and getting lost in working jobs they hate and stuck in the same cycle. And I see it everywhere, even around me in LA. And, you know, like, I think this is great advice with everything shifting and flipping upside down. And, you know, like, when things are changing, it's like the perfect time to introduce things more and what you love doing or what you feel called to do for feeling balance in your life and this purpose that I think people lose sometimes. So that's the advice card that I have for this today. And that is the reading. So I hope this helped everybody. Oh, you know what? Last thing, I made 2 wishes in my coffee cup. It's sitting on the table right here. For those of you who don't know, I've mentioned before, I also do Turkish coffee readings. You drink the coffee and the grains are all, the coffee grounds are in the cup at the bottom. So when you're done, you spin it and flip it over and it'll dry. And I always see images and I'll get feelings with these things too. Anyway, I made a wish twice, same one, and it gave me the same thing. On like if these fires are gonna be getting better soon, like, you know, what's to come with that. And each time it showed me a clock. And every time I see the clock with the hands and the dots around, it's basically letting me know like, yes, but in time, it's going to take time. So I do think it's still going to be something that we're going to have to keep going through for a little bit longer. It's going to take probably longer than we wish and longer than we think or hope, but it will get better. It's just going to take some time. So that was that. All right, that is it for my reading right now. I hope you guys stay safe in LA. Please keep communicating with everybody. If you don't have the apps, there is the AirVisual app, and then there's also, I'll write it down. It's like the Watch Now app that has like all of the live fires and like it'll show you, like it'll just keep updating you with things even when there's going to be live like talks on TV or whatever, and evacuations, who has mandatory evacuations, who has the evacuation warnings. It'll update you on even like the size of the fires and everything. So and then just communicate with people, because those false mandatory evacuations, like I have friends further away and, you know, we're all communicating, and if they got the alerts, like I know that it was false, so it doesn't apply to me. And often I've been seeing that when these alerts come up, it's just because of like a new fire that started or a change in something with the fire. So anyway, all right, so let's just all we can do is put the best energy out there and try to be supportive, try to help in whatever ways we can. And I am hopeful, you know, that we're gonna get through this. And, you know, LA's a strong place. It's a beautiful place, it's a strong place. It's a tough place. Before my phone died, I was gonna say whoever is here, you know, like all cities can be intense. So whoever is here can handle it. Granted, there are some like amazing like suburb areas, like just more chill areas further out. That's kind of where I am. Like I'm so close to everything, like 15 minutes to the places I love being. But I get some more green. So, but either way, the app for the maps is actually called Watch Duty. Just download it. You can put your address in there. And it'll give you live updates for everything, and alerts and notifications. And yeah, like and subscribe to my channel. And then if anybody ever wants any readings, I usually do card and coffee together. But I have that, like the information of that written in my bio. So yeah, you can check that out as well. All right, guys, till next time.